Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be customizing the Pegassi Osiris in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now I've customized this thing I think twice before on my channel, but the last time I did it was in like 2022 I want to say it was, so it's been a very long time. The Osiris is an absolutely fantastic car, and of course it is on sale this week when this video is coming out. Now if you're watching in the future, maybe it's on sale again, maybe it's not on sale. We're going to do a customization of the vehicle and a full review on it, so you'll know if you should purchase this car or not. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the armor upgrade. We're going to go all the way up on that. We're going to do the brakes as well. We're going to go ahead and throw the maximum engine upgrade on as well. And then of course we are going to do the race transmission and the turbo, because you might as well just, you know, go all the way out on it. So got that done. Now this thing does have front and rear bumper options. It is based off of the Pagani Huayra in real life, which is pretty cool. But it's one of those ones that came out before they started doing like crazy customization options, so it's kind of limited as to what we can do. Now unfortunately with the bumper options we do have to go for like some pretty aggressive like stuff. I think it's okay. I think we're gonna make do. I'm gonna go for, I think, the secondary street splitter for today. Let's go ahead and throw that on, and then for the rear diffuser we will go for the race rear diffuser just because it looks a lot better in my opinion, and it is carbon on the bottom at the back, which kind of makes me want to go for the carbon option on the front, so I will go for the carbon street splitter on the front, I guess. For the exhaust we have a few different options here. I personally kind of like the look of the chrome tip exhaust or the oval exhaust. I'm trying to kind of stay away from the titanium stuff. I feel like it's kind of just played out, so we're gonna go oval exhaust for right now. Now for the fenders, this thing does have the vents that you can put on top of the fenders. Pretty cool looking. It is pretty aggressive. It kind of matches up with the build, just not 100% sure if I want to do it. We're going to come back to that option. We will go xenon for the lights though, and we will go ahead and throw a neon kit on all the sides of the vehicle as well. So we got that done. Let's see about a plate. Probably going to go for the yellow and black plate. That's usually what I'll go for, so I will just go ahead and do that. Now the last time that I customized the Osiris, I do believe that I went for some sort of a metal on it, and I got a lot of compliments from my peers with NPC and Twingo. I believe that they said that it was like the best looking Osiris they'd ever seen. And I want to say that was in a brushed black steel. I'm not going to replicate the build in today's video, but it was a pretty cool build. I think that I did, what did I do there? I'm trying to think. I think I did a brushed aluminum with a brushed black steel secondary or something like that, but it turned out really well. So if you guys want a cool build for your Osiris, that might do you. But for today's build, almost want to go for like a darker red. I have seen the Huayra in like a dark red before, like a Cabernet red, so I'm kind of thinking let's maybe go Cabernet red for both the primary and secondary, or of course we could switch up that secondary color to be like a black or something like that. It doesn't really show very much because the pearlescent is like really strong, but if we go ahead and take off that pearl, oh man, that's looking deadly though. What? That looks so sick. Hang on now, that looks crazy. That looks so good, I think. Oh my god. Okay, we're going with that for sure then. For the side skirts, we can go ahead and add on some primary color race skirts, secondary or carbon. I think I will go carbon just to match up with the rest of the, you know, lower end of the car. I don't necessarily even love the side skirts on this, but without them I feel like it looks kind of naked, so we will just have to go for them. Now for the spoiler options, we have a couple here. The question is do I want to go for like a really aggressive build or just a, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go for like the race wing or something like that. It just doesn't look that great without, well, like it looks great without a wing, don't get me wrong, but the performance is gonna kind of suck. The wings don't look very good on this car, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big fan of either of them. Out of the two, I kind of actually prefer the GT wing just because I like the material that the like supports are made out of a little bit better. The race wing looks kind of like really cheap to me, but at the same time I do like the height of the race wing a little bit better, so we'll go for that. I just wish that this thing had different like mounting points for the spoiler. I think it'd look a lot better if the spoilers was just mounted from, you know, the two sides or something like that. They could have a middle mount too, but I just feel like it looked better, but anyway, whatever. That might just be me. So we got that on. Now it's time to choose some wheels for this car now. Let's head into the track category here, because I'm curious to see if there's something that we could go for that would look kind of cool. I was wondering about going for the tropos with this. I don't think that they really work. There's like a part of me that thinks they kind of almost do, but it doesn't work well enough to actually put it on the car, I don't think. So we'll avoid that. We could go for the high fives. We could go for the super lux. We could go for the ice storms. Those are kind of crazy looking. They actually would not be too bad with this vehicle, I don't think. Let's throw them on quickly. I just want to see. I'm pretty sure, yeah, they do have a chrome lip on them. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that, to be honest, so I'm gonna have to avoid that. We could go for the modern mesh. I have used those quite a bit recently though. Let's go into the what is this, the street category? Yeah, street category. Deep flake reverse, low key, kind of hitting. Could go for something like that. Could go for hyper fresh. Mercy concaves. I don't know, man. Maybe deep flake reverse. Let's just do it because I feel like I haven't used these in a long time, so that's kind of good. Tires are bulletproofed. Windows, let's tint them to a dark smoke, and I think we're gonna call that a day. Let's take this thing outside and see how it performs. I'm sure it's going to be pretty decent. Before we get into the actual review of the car, we do of course have to do a sound test, so let's quickly take a listen to this vehicle. This thing actually sounds really, really cool. That was a really long sound clip, but I just really wanted to hear it actually. I feel like it's a very good sounding car. It's better than I thought that it was. It has some really, really unique like turbo whistle sounds, which is really cool. So that's neat. The Osiris actually sounds a little bit better than I remembered, so that's cool. The Osiris is a pretty interesting car. It goes for $1,950,000. Obviously, when this video is coming out, this thing is on sale, so if you do want it, it is on discount, and I believe it's 40% off, if I'm not mistaken. If you're watching this in the future at full price or whatever, I will still give you an idea of whether I think the car is worth picking up or not. At the base price of $1,950,000, objectively, this car is a little bit overpriced when it comes to price for performance. For example, the Grotti Italia GTO is only another, I think, $15,000, and it will outperform this thing in the sports category, which is kind of insane. And it's got a lot more customization. It's maybe a better looking car, arguably, but when it comes to having a fun supercar, I think the Osiris is a great one to have. I think it's very unique, and it's kind of something we don't really have much of in GTA, which is like, you know, Pagani. Pagani does not really have much of a presence in GTA Online. So being that this is like one of the only Pagani sort of esque cars in the game, I think that adds a lot of value to it for me personally, at least. I think Pagani is a very, very cool manufacturer in real life. And honestly, the performance of the Osiris on paper, it might not be the best, but in actuality, this thing is pretty good. It actually has pretty good handling. It is all-wheel drive, of course, so it does get a really, really good launch. It's got great acceleration. It doesn't really understeer. It kind of goes, you know, where you want it to go on the road most of the time, I would say. I'd say it's got maybe even a little bit of an oversteer bias, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, the lack of customization is really where I struggle with the Osiris. I do think that it is a great car. I do think that it has some, you know, unique features. I think it's unique looking and everything like that. But I wish that you could kind of accentuate that. Like, I wish you could go a little bit crazier with it. So this is a car I'd like to see Rockstar add, you know, more customization to. With that being said, it's not terrible. You can still make it look, you know, fairly decent. I think I've done a pretty good job of that today in this customization. overall, it is actually a pretty good car. It will perform pretty well in free mode. On a racetrack setting, probably not going to be the greatest car of all time. Like, it's not going to do some of the things that some of the top supercars can do, like the Torero XO, for example. Although this handles much better than the Torero XO. It's just not as fast in a straight line. But then you got cars like the LM87, which would absolutely destroy this thing and eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner around pretty much any circuit. And you'd be hard-pressed to manage to beat an LM87 with an Osiris. But of course, that is a car that's, you know, virtually another $1 million on top of this thing. So as far as the car goes, for having fun and for being a free mode cruiser and things like that, performance set aside a little bit with that, you know, it is still a great performer, but, you know, it's just not quite top of the range in the supercars category. But I still think it's really fun, and if you can get it on sale, I would say it's absolutely worth it, especially at that like 40% off. 30% off, it's like a little less worth, you know, obviously, but for 40% off, you kind of can't really go wrong with picking up an Osiris. It's going to be, you know, just over $1 million, which not a bad price for this car at all, actually. I would say if you are going to purchase an Osiris, I would actually wait for it to go on sale. I think it's just a little bit more worth it, simply. But obviously do what you want. If you are really wanting to get an Osiris, get one. Don't let me stop you. Just know that it is not going to be the best value for the money that you could possibly get. But, you know, chances are if you're looking at buying an Osiris, you already have a bunch of other really good supercars already, and you're probably pretty well established in GTA Online. So anyway, guys, there you have it. That is pretty much it for the Pegassi Osiris customization and review in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.